Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. I've got some intriguing speculation and potential blockbuster moves to talk about today, and it's all centered around one of the most exciting wide receivers in the league right now, Christian Kirk. Yes, I know the official news was that Kirk was traded to the Houston Texans, but as fans, we know how these things can develop behind the scenes, and I've got some compelling reasons to believe that a different destination, and a much better fit, could be the Atlanta Falcons. And trust me, this isn't just idle speculation. We're going to dive deep into why a trade like this could make sense for both sides, how it could impact the Falcons' offense, and what it means for their chances in the upcoming season. First, let's set the stage for the NFL offseason. The Texans, a team that's been rebuilding after a couple of rough seasons, made what looked like a smart move. They traded for Christian Kirk before the draft, and honestly, it was a low-cost gamble. They sent just a 7th-round pick in exchange for Kirk, which is practically nothing in NFL terms. It's almost a throwaway move, but one that could pay off if Kirk fits well into their plans. The Texans already have some established wide receivers like Nico Collins, Jaden Higgins, and Jalen Noel, along with John Mechie and Tank Dell. That's a pretty solid core, especially considering the Texans focus on building around their young quarterback, C.J. Stroud. In fact, the Texans' wide receiver room is more than capable of supporting a competitive offense, which makes Kirk's presence less critical for them right now. So it's logical to think that Kirk's role in Houston might be somewhat limited, especially with the team drafting Higgins and Noel, who could be seen as future starters. But here's the catch. What if Kirk, instead of sticking around in Houston, ended up somewhere that maximizes his talents and fills a glaring need? That's where the Falcons come into the picture. Atlanta, after trading up to select James Pierce Jr., found themselves a bit short on draft capital in the later rounds. This left them with a less-than-ideal situation when it came to adding depth at wide receiver. Sure, they already have Drake London and Darnell Mooney, and those two are excellent building blocks. But after them, things get a little murky. Ray McCloud, for example, is not exactly the answer as a consistent slot receiver. The stats speak for themselves. McCloud has only surpassed 300 yards in a season once, and that was in 2024. Considering he only broke out at 28 years old, it's clear that relying on him as the primary slot option isn't a winning formula for a team with playoff ambitions. And this is exactly where Christian Kirk could step in beautifully. He's a perfect fit for the slot role, and his style of play complements the Falcons' offensive scheme. In 2024, Kirk ran over 81% of his routes out of the slot, and in 2023, that number was still a hefty 71.3%, according to PFF. This isn't just a coincidence, it's a testament to Kirk's skill set. He's a true slot receiver, someone who can create separation, find soft spots in coverage, and be a reliable target for a young quarterback. And let's not forget, the Falcons recently drafted Michael Penix Jr., 8th overall in the 2024 draft, a player with enormous potential who needs weapons and a reliable target to flourish. Kirk, with his experience and route-running ability, would be a perfect complement to London and Mooney, giving Penix Jr. a true trio of dynamic receivers. Now I want to pause here for a second. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Atlanta Falcons news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Think about it. Kirk's last full healthy season was in 2022, when he racked up a remarkable 108 yards. Even in a somewhat down year in 2023, he still managed to put up nearly 800 yards in just 12 games. That kind of production, when he's fully healthy, is exactly what the Falcons need to push for that playoff spot. With Penix Jr. developing and the Falcons' offense gaining cohesion, adding a player like Kirk could be the missing piece to elevate their passing game to the next level. And let's talk a little about the financial and strategic side of things. The Falcons, with their limited draft capital after trading up for Pierce, need to be smart about how they allocate their resources. Trading a seventh-round pick for Kirk would be a low-risk, high-reward move, an investment that could pay dividends in the form of more yardage, more touchdowns, and ultimately more wins. The Falcons have shown they're serious about contending. Last season, they made significant strides, and with a few key pieces, they could be a real threat in the NFC South. The division has been competitive, with the Saints, Panthers, and Buccaneers all making moves, but adding a talented receiver like Kirk could give Atlanta that extra edge they need. Now, I know some fans might be thinking, but what about the chemistry? Will Kirk fit into Arthur Smith's offense? Well, it's a fair question, but the truth is, Kirk's skill set is incredibly versatile. He's been used mainly as a slot receiver, which aligns perfectly with what the Falcons need. Plus, Smith's offense is known for its creativity and ability to utilize players in multiple ways, so integrating Kirk wouldn't be a problem. It's about filling a gap, an elite slot receiver that can consistently produce and take pressure off London and Mooney, and give Penix Jr. a trusted target in critical situations. Looking at the bigger picture, if the Falcons manage to pull off this trade, it would send a message across the league. Atlanta is serious about contending. They're not just building for the future, they're also making moves to win now. Kirk's experience, his route running, and his ability to produce in the slot make him an ideal addition, especially considering the Falcons' current roster construction. And of course, it's not just about the immediate impact. Adding Kirk could also influence the team's overall chemistry, leadership, and veteran presence, which is crucial for a team looking to make a deep playoff run. So, in conclusion, while this trade isn't official yet, the logic behind it makes a lot of sense. The Falcons need a reliable slot receiver, and Kirk fits that bill perfectly. The Texans might have made their move, but smart teams know how to capitalize on opportunities, and Atlanta could be that team to swoop in, make the deal, and take their offense to new heights. With Penix Jr. at quarterback and a talented trio of receivers, including the potential addition of Kirk, the Falcons could be on the verge of a breakthrough season. The NFC South isn't getting any easier, but with the right moves, Atlanta can assert itself as a division powerhouse once again, and Kirk might just be the piece they need to unlock that next level. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Atlanta Falcons. Do you believe Kirk would be the perfect fit? Are you excited about the potential of this move? Or do you think the Falcons should focus on other areas? Whatever your thoughts, we want to hear them. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Atlanta Falcons news, analysis, and rumors. Thanks for sticking with us, and as always, go Falcons!